The Philadelphia Eagles select Jihaad Campbell. This isn't fair. They don't even need this guy, right? Of course, the Eagles end up with the player that is a great player that happens to be falling in this draft class. I wanted my favorite team to draft him at 19 with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but no, he falls to 31. There's a trade here, and what had to have happened is there must have been some sort of discussion with the Chiefs and the Eagles of maybe multiple teams trying to trade with the Eagles, trade with the Chiefs. That must have been what was happening. Both teams wanted to, I don't know who else it was, but someone else probably wanted to get a linebacker here. Here's the interesting thing. Absolutely not a need. Zach Bonnet and Nakobe Dean were both awesome last year. Dean's coming off an injury, and so maybe there's some concern there. But ultimately, this is just what the Eagles have always done, is they don't care about what their roster is. They draft the best player available. When they drafted Jalen Hurts, they had Carson Wentz. They had just paid him and made him the highest paid quarterback in NFL history, the highest paid player in NFL history. It was that same offseason they drafted a quarterback. They do this with edge rushers. They do this with interior defensive linemen, and they're doing this with off-ball linebacker. Now, again, they just paid Zach Bond for a couple years. You're going to have him for a couple years. They have Nakobe Dean, who's going to enter his 4th year. So he is in the last year of his deal, and the logic might be, well, we'll just have Dean play one more year, and then we'll slot Campbell in. That is a lot of times what they ultimately end up doing. And again, if you're getting a great player, why not? So yeah, those are my thoughts on why they do this. Now let's talk about the player himself, who, yes, he's an awesome player. Let's get into the film. Let's start off with this play. So it's going to be a double team block, and then they're going to get up to block Jihaad Campbell, who's, again, number 11. He's, linebacker at the next level. That's the way this play is designed to work. So, okay, so far, I would say solid, but for Michigan, you see 71 is in position to try and block Campbell right here. But this is what Campbell just does such a good job of, is he's constantly finding ways to get through in run defense. He almost treats it like he's the running back. He's so good at being, able to track where the running back is and finding ways to make things work. Like right here, okay, I think a lot of guys would just engage in the contact, but watch as he instead disengages, gets around it, and is able to help make the tackle. He just does such a good job of, constantly coming through in run defense, which is one of the real things I like about him. Like this play is going to be another example of that, where you see it's going to be the center who's going to ultimately go up to the next level to block him on this play. At least that's the way this play is designed for Michigan. When this play begins, you see right here, again, you see how Campbell just kind of shifts to the side, and at this point, he just gets you to go the wrong way, and he just, goes around the center. I've made the comparison before to the stonefish, the fish that's designed to hide on the ground and then just all of a sudden pops up at the last second and will eat another fish. I feel like some linebackers are that way. We're just, for whatever reason, guys just run by them, and that's kind of how Jihaad Campbell is here. Watch, he then is able to get over, and while he didn't have to make a tackle on that one, it was already covered up. If he had to, he would have. He would have been in position. So, yeah, this is just, again, what he can kind of consistently do. And also, listen, he's not afraid to be physical, which is what you want out of a linebacker. You want to make sure there's a linebacker who will, make plays. You see right here where he is on the field. It's going to be a handoff more up the middle. And watch, when this play begins, you see right here, hey, it's cleared up. I mean, I don't know if there was someone supposed to block Campbell and just it didn't work out or what, but ultimately, it's essentially like Oklahoma drill right here. Just lower the shoulder and make a tackle. And that's what he's able to do, right? Not afraid to get in there and, make that tackle work. Had some help, but still, he's meeting a guy in space right there to make that play work. That is something that he is not afraid to do, which is certainly what you like to see. So ultimately, yes, the run defense stuff is great, but listen, there's a lot of linebackers who can either play coverage well or who can play play run defense well. The special linebackers are the ones who can do both, and can Campbell do both? Well, let's start off with a play like this, where he's actually going to be showing blitz right here, but he's going to be the one who's covering that zone in white. When this play begins, so you see he drops back, and as of right here, naturally where he should be dropping back, there's nobody in the area, which is, again, by design here, right? These are how route concepts work. Is sometimes sometimes you, against zone coverage, you try to put a lot of routes on one side, one section of the field, because hopefully, there's just less defenders over there. You get a numbers advantage. However, here, watch how Campbell reads this play, and he's able to just rush over and just cover the guy that he needs to be covering right here. Okay, well done, right? But ultimately, here's what's interesting, is as he went over and did that, another Alabama also covered that guy up. The quarterback, on the other hand, is, while under pressure, is trying to get out of this pressure. So for Campbell, he recognizes this isn't one of those situations where his eyes are getting big and he wants a sack. He recognizes the situation and that he doesn't actually have to be covering the guy who he's going up against, but the quarterback could get out and make a play. So watch how Campbell's now going to rush in, and he ends up leaping up, knocking the ball away. I mean, talk about a great play by a linebacker to read the situation, make sure you're in position to cover a guy. And then once you do that, be able to, get over and have the athleticism to make all that work. It's just really remarkable stuff there by Campbell, and this is what you like about him as a player, is that just there's just so many boxes that he checks. And like this one's another one where it just goes to show he just gets the game of football. So like right here, what's going to happen is it's a zone coverage concept. You see the zone he's supposed to be covering, and you also see what Tennessee is going to do on this play. They have a running back who's going to run a route more underneath. Quarterback's going to go out in motion. There's other stuff going on, but those are the two main things you want to pay attention to. So when this play begins, watch Campbell. And as of right here, what is Campbell doing? Well, he's covering the halfback. That's in his zone. He's paying attention to that. However, Campbell also notices that player right there. He has help down the field, and Campbell has a really good understanding of knowing where he has help and when he can try and make a big play happen. He's not always trying to make big plays. If there was no help there, he would just cover the running back. But now that he sees, okay, I have help there, well, let me now shift gears. Instead, he's going to go towards the quarterback and help, again, try to disrupt that play, and succeeding in doing so. These are the types of things that Campbell does, and he's just, quite frankly, a smart player. He just really understands the game of football, and when you factor in, like, okay, there's always a projection going from college to the NFL, there at least is less of a projection when you play to Alabama. Really good level of competition, so he saw some clever concepts. Again, it's not the NFL. There's just a huge jump there, of course, but like, it's at least less of a jump than your average college player is going to have. So that is what I like. So while I would say every now and then in coverage he can cover grass a little bit too much, ultimately there's really no other weakness. He does so much well that I just think he's going to work at the next level. But yeah, that's what I think. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed that video and want to hear more of my thoughts, well, for one thing, you can check out my movie channel. Yes, I have a movie channel. You can check the link in the description below. I do some fun things like some movie reviews, even some TV show reviews, tier list, fun things like that, so you can check that out. Also, make sure that you are subscribed and paying attention to this channel, as there will be plenty of draft content. I plan on making a video for every first round pick, many of the other picks throughout the draft, and also I will do recaps for each team after the draft is over. So I will eventually talk about every single pick from your favorite team. Be on the lookout for that, as it will be out this weekend. And also, if you want to follow me on Twitter, you can follow me on Twitter. I am at Jackson Kruger, or X, whatever you prefer to call it. But yeah, that's all I got. Thanks again for watching till the end of the video.